Hello and welcome to Bella Star Astrology. I'm your host, Stella, and this is a channel where we talk all about how you can use astrology in your everyday life with monthly horoscopes, educational videos. Please like and subscribe and click on the bell so you can get notified as soon as the video is posted. And without further ado, let's dive right in with the monthly horoscopes for the sign of Scorpio in September 2022. Now, my Scorpios, this is such a fun social month for you, but it's also going to highlight some maybe insecurities that you have that you might need to improve in order to improve said social life, right? But we start with Venus entering Virgo on September 4th, which is going to be in your 12th house. This is all about the groups and the strategy that you have around said groups, because if anything, Scorpios are strategic. Venus is going to bring in some much needed connection with people, connection with others, new friendships, new connections with the people that you are, either working with or partnering with, as well as maybe a little bit of luck when it comes to some of the visions that you have for your future. So Venus in Virgo on September 4th. And then we move on, and Mercury will be retrograde Libra on September 9th. Mercury has been in Libra for a while, so it has brought to mind probably or brought to the surface a lot of maybe the subconscious things that you may be doing. And especially with Mercury going retrograde, you want to be careful that it doesn't now affect your health. It doesn't now affect more so your mental and emotional states. So this Mercury retrograde in Libra is going to highlight those issues, and it could also mean something that you might actually say or do something that is more based on your subconscious than on the reality that maybe you're living. Just like when you have someone who maybe yells at you or has a conversation with you out of the blue that may have nothing to do with you. That's sort of the energy of Mercury retrograde in Libra. You may not even know or be aware of some of the issues that you're having, and they might come to the surface for you to deal with, or even just break down, some breakdown in communication or breakdown in emotions because of the way that you're approaching things. And Libra, or rather Mercury being retrograde in Libra on September 9th, is really going to be the highlight on those issues. So you want to make sure that you deal with them, because that's the most important thing with Mercury going retrograde, is dealing with those issues as they come up. Of course, I never recommend starting a new project, but I always say, like, if there's something that you haven't perfected, something that you didn't know was an issue with Mercury retrograde 12th house, you want to make sure that those things are addressed. Moving on, full moon will be in Pisces in your 10th, on September 10th, and it'll be hitting your 5th house. Now, with this full moon hitting your 5th house, with the fact that Venus is in Virgo, these are 11th house is social, 5th house is just play and romance. I would say it's probably a great time where you'll be either ending a romantic partnership or ending being single, right? Um, so either way, and you're going to be looking at how some of your hobbies, some of the things that you do every day, the way that you're enjoying your life, maybe it's not in alignment with how much more you would like to do, or rather you're doing too much and you might need to just sort of relax. And so this full moon brings to an end some of those habits, hobbies, that you have maybe not supported you. It could also bring to an end maybe like a child's transition to adulthood, whether they're going into high school or your child is going into college. Since September is that month, you might be seeing off some of your children to their new perspective growth, and might have to let them go and do their own thing, right? Of course, be careful around the drama, as fifth house can be pretty dramatic, and that fifth house activation with the full moon, that full moon energy is very dramatic. Pisces, very dramatic. It's a water sign. So you want to be careful around some of the issues that might arise with your family, your children, with the love and romantic relationships you're having. Be careful of the drama, especially as Mercury is going retrograde in your your 12th house, like I said, it could bring up that energy of those conversations that you weren't expecting to have that might stir up emotions that maybe are not exactly what you meant. And Mercury going retrograde can jumble your communication about those deeper feelings you have, and they may affect your 5th house in terms of maybe like the romantic relationship you're in is not going in the direction you want. You might say something or do something that might trigger, either an end, or I don't even want to say that's too dramatic, maybe just an end to a dream that you had together, or an end to, a plan that you guys were forming. Maybe you want to transition into something different, right? Nothing too dramatic, I hope. So again, full moon in Pisces on September 10th. Then Sun moves into Libra on September 24th, also the fall equinox. And this is just fun energy for you to really look at yourself on a deeper level. The sun is highlighting all this problems, all these issues, all these setbacks, all these health issues you haven't been dealing with, your spirituality you've been questioning for a while. So take a minute to sit down and just make sure that you're not overwhelming yourself, as the sun tends to just overwhelm wherever it's going, as well as highlight it. You want to make sure that you are approaching it in a stable, sort of, balanced approach, as opposed to just throwing the baby in with the bathwater, right? That's an old expression, but that's sort of what I mean. Don't go over the edge with all the things the sun is highlighting at once. You can take it one step at a time. And, the sun is there, Mercury retrograde is there, you're getting that full moon in the 5th house with all this drama in your month of September. Make sure that you are approaching it step by step so you're not going crazy. And speaking of step by step, Mercury retrograde in Libra finally moves into Virgo on September 23rd. And this is going to alleviate some pressure from the 12th house, but it's going to move into your 11th house of social, connections, of friendships. And maybe those under the surface issues are going to come up in this 11th house, activation. And so maybe you might have a conversation with a friend that they weren't expecting, or that maybe wasn't appropriate. Be careful with how you're communicating. Be careful with how you're approaching, the things that you're dreaming of doing. Maybe you're out of context and Mercury is there to rein you in. Or worse, Mercury could be there to poke and poke and poke until, you sort of explode with all of these emotions and thoughts that you weren't expecting to have. Be careful around your friends with Mercury retrograde. Be careful around your words. And, it might slow things down when it comes to the dreams that you're building, but just remember, it's slowing it down for a reason. Maybe you're just not ready for that transition. Maybe you don't know the steps to take. Maybe your subconscious is not in alignment with what your conscious mind is trying to do right now. So maybe just take it one step at a time when Mercury enters Virgo on September 23rd. Then the new moon is moving into Libra on September 24th. And this, again, is highlighting your 12th house. I mean, this is all 12th house energy, Scorpio. Make sure that you are ready for this 12th house energy, although you are, very subconscious, because that's really the Scorpio rules the 8th house traditionally, and some of the deeper issues that maybe other signs can't deal with, Scorpios are much more easier to approach. But with all this activation in your 12th house, this new moon is going to be great for you to sit down and really think, how have I changed since all this 12th house activation has happened? What can I do to improve myself so that I don't lash out at others, or so that I can have better relationships, or so that I can have better friendships and build better friendships, right? And so this new moon is going to have you writing down some intentions that you have on how you want your friendships, relationships, health to be overall, right? And just some of the fears that you might have around opening up to others as well. Just writing those things down and keeping track maybe of how you've changed since maybe the last few years. What sort of changes have happened over the last few years, that maybe because Mercury is going retrograde in the 12th house, this is my sort of approach to it, that there is some sort of hidden, unearthed energy around some of the friendships that you've built or some of the people that you've had around you that you may not have healed, so that you're able to approach your subconscious in a better way, approach some of those subconscious fears in a better way, right? Fears of being hurt, fears of being left behind, right? Then we have Venus entering Libra on September 9th. And that is the final transition. Oh, by the way, the new moon in Libra was September 24th, and then Venus enters Libra on September 29th. And if you've done all the hard work with the Mercury retrograde, if you've done all the hard work with the sun being there, if you've actually sat down and set your intentions with the new moon, Venus is your reward in your 12th house, bringing you a little bit of alleviation from all of these 12th house matters that have been maybe hidden away, and you're finally dealing with them. The health matters, the issues of emotional matters, the issues of the subconscious that are finally, the cream is coming to the top of the surface, and you're finally dealing with these issues. So enjoy Venus being in Libra. Approach it in a positive way. Don't think of it as a setback. And most importantly, do everything you can whilst Venus is in Libra to improve it, as it is giving you luck in this area. Then I just want to say thank you to my Scorpios for watching this video of September 22nd, September 2022, sorry. Astrology. Please like, subscribe, and hit the notification bell so you can learn when we're posting new videos. And thank you for watching this video today.